I'm 24 years old and I have a net worth of $250,000. To most people my age, that sounds like I've made it financially, but when I run the numbers on my actual early retirement plan, the results were kind of depressing. Even with geographic arbitrage and aggressive savings, I'm looking at age 38 before I can actually retire. And that's assuming everything goes perfectly sound. Today, I'm breaking down why $250,000 feels like both everything and nothing at the same time, and why my partner's financial situation complicates it even more. Let me get this clear. I know 250K at 24 sounds insane and crazy for a lot of you, but this is actually 10 years of working. I started working at the age of 15, and I've been working until now, and this is with aggressive saving, living below my means, not taking vacations. I literally have only gone away, I think, once, and that was domestically. I've never taken an international vacation or spent out of my means, and I've always tried to work or make side income at every point of my life. And to be honest, that kind of sold my high school, early teenage years, and also even my college years. I threw all of the social activities away to spend my life working. And that's the reality of this number. It doesn't just come from like, oh, my parents gave it to me, or crypto lottery winnings on some meme coins. This number came from a lot of hard work and dedication. And honestly, my parents actually didn't help me with any of this. I had to pay for my own college, I had to pay for my own car, and I had no help getting into my current career. This number represents years of living below my means, aggressive savings, and strategic investment decisions while most of my peers were upgrading in life. Here's what the number actually means for my early retirement timeline though. I ran the data through a FIRE calculator with realistic assumptions, and the math is pretty unforgiving. Even with my current savings, trajectory, and income, I'm looking at retiring at 38 if I can maintain $36,000 annually in retirement contributions. And that's with 14 years from now, by the way. 14 years of maintaining my current job, hoping my salary keeps up with the pace of inflation, and assume no major life disruptions. When you break it down like that, 250K stops feeling like wealth and starts feeling like a really long road ahead of me. The only reason my timeline is even remotely feasible is geographic arbitrage. My retirement spending target is around $100,000 annually, which sounds high until you consider that this needs to support international living with ongoing medical expenses for my Crohn's disease. In the United States, 100K in retirement spending would be barely middle class in most cities. So that's why the places I'm targeting are Thailand, Vietnam, Colombia, or Mexico. And 100K can provide a genuinely comfortable lifestyle with quality healthcare access and plenty of room for travel and experiences in those locations. And the geographic arbitrage isn't about cheaper rent and food. It's about assessing quality of life that would cost 200K annually in major US cities. Without this arbitrage, I honestly don't think early retirement would even be possible at all on a single software engineer salary. And geographic arbitrage comes with risk that most FIRE calculations kind of ignore. Currency fluctuations, political instability, visa requirements, healthcare accessibility, all introduce variables that could derail the entire plan. And also this calculates me being completely stable and healthy throughout all of these years. And this counts for the rest of my life. This just means I only have Crohn's disease. I stay as healthy as I am right now. I don't get any other diseases. I don't get sick. I don't lose work. I don't lose income. I don't have any crazy upcoming expenses. This is literally just staying within my budget for the rest of my life until the average age of 77. And again, when you put it like that, a lot of things have to go right and a lot of things could change. And honestly, this could also get wiped out easily depending on my investment style at this time. I also have a partner who I plan to travel with, and her financial situation is completely different from mine. She wasn't born with the same opportunities I had, different family background, different career path, different earning potential. Realistically, she's never going to probably achieve FIRE on her own timeline. She's working and contributing what she can, but the math just doesn't work for her to reach financial independence without significant help. This creates a difficult decision point that most FIRE content doesn't address. Do I wait for her to build her own retirement fund, potentially adding years to my own timeline? Do I plan for both of us financially, essentially doubling my target number? Or do we find some middle ground where I retire early and she continues working remotely or something? Each option has major implications. Supporting both of us financially means I need roughly 100 to 200K annually instead of just 100K, which pushes my retirement age into my late 40s. Having her continue working while I'm retired could also create relationship dynamics that could be challenging long term. This is actually where CoastFIRE can help our strategy. CoastFIRE means having enough invested that it will grow to support traditional retirement, even if you never save another dollar. For me, that number is roughly $234,000, which I've already exceeded. And that's with a retirement age of 60, my current age right now, an annual spending of $100,000, with my current invested assets of $250,000, a growth rate of 10%, inflation at 3%, and a withdrawal rate of 4%. But my plan isn't traditional retirement. It's just a safety net. Knowing that I could theoretically stop aggressively saving and still have a comfortable traditional retirement does take some pressure off. If something happens in my income or health, I'm not starting from zero. And the psychological benefit of CoastFIRE is pretty huge. It means I can take more risks with my career decisions, side business ventures, or even geographic relocation without jeopardizing my long-term financial security. CoastFIRE pretty much means I can't fail completely at this, but it doesn't get me the life I actually want. The calculator shows retirement at 38, assuming I contribute $36,000 annually towards retirement accounts or individual brokerage accounts. That sounds straightforward until you consider what needs to happen for that to be sustainable. First, I need to maintain my current level of income in the term of 14 years. That means either staying at my current company with regular raises that match inflation, or successfully transitioning to a higher paying position that offsets any career disruptions. Second, I need to avoid any major life events that would reduce my savings rate. No unemployment, no health crisis, no family emergencies that would require significant financial support. And third, I need the markets to perform roughly as expected over the next 14 years. Major markets do crash and extended bear markets do happen, or significant inflation that could extend this timeline significantly. When you list out all of these assumptions, it becomes clear why relying solely on my W-2 income and investment growth feels riskier for early retirement planning. The 100K annual retirement spending target too includes a significant buffer for medical expenses related to my Crohn's disease. My monthly infusions currently cost a ton of money before insurance, and that means I'm going to need insurance coverage long term. And even with coverage, it does cost substantially. International retirement complicates this further because I need to maintain US insurance indefinitely and find equivalent care in retirement countries, or budget for medical tourism back to the US every month or so. Each option has different cost implications that are difficult to predict. The medication I'm on isn't globally available yet either, though I'm hoping that changes in the next 5 to 7 years. And if it doesn't, my geographic arbitrage strategy becomes much more limited and expensive. Medical inflation also tends to outpace just general inflation, meaning my healthcare costs could grow faster than my retirement budget actually even allows. This is another variable that I have to calculate into this and could extend my working years beyond my timeline. This is where side income will change everything. It becomes pretty clear why building outside of my W-2 isn't just helpful, it's kind of essential for achieving my actual retirement goals. Every dollar of monthly side income reduces my dependency on employment and could potentially accelerate my timeline completely. If I can build $5,000 in sustainable side income, it changes the entire equation, because that's $60K annually that doesn't depend on my employer's decisions, the job markets, or my ability to work full-time due to health issues. More importantly, side income actually produces some scalability too, because that employment income doesn't just theoretically follow the business income or inflation rate. The salary growth of like side income is pretty much limitless. Now, beyond the financial calculations, there's also emotional components to planning retirement early around two people with different financial capabilities. It's not just about money, it's about equity, contributions, and also shared goals. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm the sole financial provider, but I also don't want to sacrifice my early retirement goals because we're starting from different positions either. Finding a balance that works for both of us requires ongoing communication and probably some compromise on timeline and lifestyle. One possibility is semi-retirement, where I transition to part-time work or consulting while she continues building her career. Another option is for her to develop remote work skills that would allow her to work from our target retirement locations. The key is to make sure we're both contributing according to our capabilities and working towards shared goals, even if our financial contributions are completely different. Given these challenges, my focus is shifting from pure savings optimization to income diversification and acceleration. The goal is to reduce the 14-year timeline through additional income streams rather than just higher savings rates from employment. Building consulting income through my software engineering skills could add easily a couple $1,000s a month, and annually tens of thousands if I invest that wisely. Another thing I want to start is content creation, which is obviously this channel, and digital products. This is part of a longer term plan that could produce passive income, and scalability with ease. Even with modest success, like this could produce a couple thousand a month, or even just 1,000 a month would be extremely beneficial to my timeline. Having 250,000 creates a psychological shift that's hard to describe to someone who hasn't experienced it. You have money to feel the weight of financial responsibility, but not enough to feel financially secure. Every market downturn represents thousands of dollars in paper losses that feel significant because they represent months of savings. And every career decision feels magnified because it could impact years of wealth building. I kind of have analysis paralysis where I'm kind of grateful for my progress, but also anxious about everything that could derail at the same time. It's a very privileged problem, but it's still a real psychological challenge to go through. And if you're in a similar position with substantial savings but ambitious early retirement goals, here's what this analysis could suggest. First, I'm going to run a realistic projection that could include very specific complications, healthcare needs, relationship considerations, different geographical plans. Second, I'm not going to fully rely on my employment income and investment growth for early retirement because this assumption is very optimistic, and for most people's actual life circumstances, chances are it's not going to end up that way. And also, I'm going to consider CoastFIRE as a milestone that provides psychological security because now it gives me the opportunity to solely focus on acceleration strategies, and knowing that I can't completely fail and I can make calculated risks helps a lot more. Most importantly, be honest about what early retirement actually requires in your specific situation. Generic FIRE advice that you see on Reddit might not account for your unique challenges and opportunities. It certainly doesn't match any of mine. This deep thought and analysis that we just went through clearly shows why my next priority is building significant income outside of my W-2 job. In my next video, I'm going to be breaking down my entire budget with my current salary and everything, so you can see the real raw numbers, what I'm trying to save, what I'm actually saving, how much I'm overspending or if I'm underspending. And then also maybe we'll talk about potential side income things that I want to do to build up my income and my savings rate. If you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. I know I'm going through a lot of hurdles just starting through this channel. Obviously some inconsistencies too, because guess what? I didn't upload the past few weeks because I was actually traveling for work, but I am back now and I am going to try and double upload to make up for those missed weeks, but I'm not going to hold myself to it because again, this channel is supposed to be just for fun and supposed to just kind of give me a clear-headed deep thought instead of being solely focused on like the YouTube algorithm or anything. And because of that, I really just want to keep it that way for now at least. And if anything does come out of it, obviously I'll rethink that later. But I really appreciate everybody who subscribed. I really appreciate everyone who liked the videos, commented. We had some great discussions in the comment section on the other videos. And overall, thank you. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.